What is the choice, you ask? The soul, the real you, the eternal you, the informational makeup of your every experience is solidly attached to whatever you connected with this side of death. That is the choice. It was the purpose of every breath you breathed, from the very first to the very last. There's no second guessing. There is no next chance. You either knew, paused to look around at the world, opened your eyes, or you wore the blindfold and stepped right on off of the cliff. No matter which, at that point, it is finished. Death consummates the choice. Our world religions have all too often been used as the mechanisms of calculated control over the masses. Conversely, our sciences focus on the raw data, the mechanics, without ever considering the scope of wonder in which we live. The spiritual consciousness which is so ever present in each and every single detail, if one were to simply pause and look around at it. The humility to admit that there are forces at work in every piece, greatest to smallest, that are much beyond the feeble understanding of our mere human minds. From the blades of grass beneath our feet to the trees that give off the oxygen we need, to our lips from which flow the carbons that they need in return, it is all connected. This is not by accident. For the blades of grass to the atoms that make up the cells in your skin, and even the stars in the distant heavens above, are all merely vibrations. In fact, creation itself is the grand symphony, a harmony of unbelievably intelligent energies dancing to make up what we call light, the matrix and construct of every piece of matter in the entire universe. Perhaps the very sweet voice from the conscious perfection of God's own heart. Indeed, it is not the stars that make the light. It is in fact the light which makes the stars.
Some of you have been fighting that ground warfare for a very long time.
And amidst all intelligent wonder are the independent expressions of the Creator Himself, unique one from the other, capable of self-awareness, capable to connect to their Father, which is beyond imagination, the sons and daughters of God, mankind.
New places, new places, new places, new places, new revelation, new perspective, area view,
Yet many, if not most, sons of God will never become self-aware. Like empty shells, they walk through this life from the cradle to the grave without ever asking the questions that matter most. Who am I? Where did I come from? What will happen next? They're driven like empty flesh, cattle in a herd that is heading for certain slaughter. They are enslaved by the very voices that come from every direction, voices that tell them what to think, what to do, what not to do, right down to the pushy little thoughts that they claim to be their own subconscious. Most never question any of it. They believe what is beaten into their heads by the world they see and the things that they cannot understand. They believe that they are powerless.
Time to spread out your wings. And fly. Just fly.
This is, in fact, the reverse of the truth. Some say that the devil's greatest trick was convincing the world that he didn't exist, but I tell you that the devil's greatest trick was convincing mankind that he was free, while forcing him to put the shackles onto his wrists. The real questions in this life really do boil down to spirit. What forces drive us? Everything else is merely the collection of distractions along the way. In fact, if one were to take the eyes away from all the distractions, the trinkets, the need for social status, the burdens that seem to pile mercilessly on one's back as this day turns the next, you might find what words like purpose really mean. You might find that our human history contains much more than we understand. You might find that to begin to awaken, you need only ask. You might find that you have no need to go searching for God. He has been attempting to connect with you this whole time. Indeed, amidst all the oceans of darkness, you are designed to be a part, to become one with the light. A part of the most powerful light. You are, in fact, a child of the light itself. Yet amongst all of the voices, the illusions, what may seem as an infinity of choices, there are really only two, light and dark. Light is the dominant. Darkness is simply what fills any space that light is not. God did indeed give man the greatest gift that he had to give. He gave man choice. He gave us these short years, these short months, these days, hours, and minutes that we call life to make that choice, to awaken, or to get caught in the weeds, to get entangled with the distractions just long enough to meet some of those dark gods, to meet some of those serpents that they tell us are not real.
I have set you free from the things that held you.
The human body is merely the beginning. It is the infancy stage of what is eternal.
I have given you wings. I have set you free.
Just as our men of science and mathematics dictate, it is all an axiom of choice. And the real answers seem to go beyond the numbers, beyond the intricate perfections and mechanics, beyond the sacred geometries, the fractals, the symbols which are now used as the markings for the dark gods on dead systems, something beyond the maze of infinite complexities and moving parts. The places those of metaphysics and spirit may call other dimensions, for the power is never found in the worship of the creation, but in a true connection, a communion, a relationship with the Creator himself. Amidst all of the names that have come and gone, there is one name covered more than any king that has lived or breathed or walked on the empires of this earth: Jesus Christ. Yet even this name is taken to be twisted by our own systems. Some have used this name for war, others for self-interest, others for control, and still more just for good old-fashioned greed.
Like a bird in the air, you have escaped the snare. Like a bird in the air.
Interestingly enough, if one were to look at the words of the Christ himself, you may find that he would not have endorsed a great many, if not most, of the things done by those who have claimed to come in his name. Even our primitive sciences tell us that this life we live, this thing that we call reality, is merely an illusion.
You have been set free. You have been set free. You have been set free.
what seems so solid in this world, the stuff made of matter, is 99.9% empty space, vibrating particles, and that 0.01%, is that not part of the illusion as well? The true magic being that all of these forces we can't understand come together from merely a moment, what men may define as an entire lifetime, to produce the conscious information which is indeed the pure essence of what we are, the soul. In layman's terms, what you can't see is more real than what you can.